If you are buying your spark plugs on Amazon or eBay to save a few bucks, you aren't a savvy shopper. You are actively putting a ticking time bomb inside your car. Up to 60% of spark plugs sold on major online marketplaces are verified, 100% counterfeits. You might think you scored an amazing deal on premium NGK, Denso, or Bosch parts, but these scammers are selling you overseas junk that will secretly destroy your high-performance engine from the inside out. Real high-performance spark plugs use exotic, precious metals like Iridium, which can withstand brutal combustion chamber temperatures of over 4,400 degrees Fahrenheit. But these cheap, knockoff plugs? Counterfeiters literally take a standard, cheap nickel electrode and shave it down on a lathe to make it look like a fine-wire iridium tip. Do you know what happens to thin nickel inside a high-compression or turbocharged engine? It melts. Once that fake tip melts, it acts like a glowing hot piece of metal inside your cylinder, igniting your air-fuel mixture before your spark plug even fires. This causes a thermodynamic nightmare called pre-ignition. It is the equivalent of taking a sledgehammer to your pistons. In a matter of minutes, a fake spark plug can melt a hole straight through your aluminum piston crown, shatter your piston rings, and blow giant holes right through your crankcase. Your attempt to save $20 on a set of plugs can instantly turn into a catastrophic $5,000 engine rebuild. And you cannot trust the packaging, nor can you trust a 5-star seller rating. But do not panic. I am going to teach you exactly how to spot a counterfeit spark plug before it ever touches your engine. I will walk you through the hidden manufacturing flaws, the knife scratch test that exposes cheap metals, and the exact multimeter readings that separate the real deal from the engine killers. Let's expand on the "it's just a spark plug" myth. A lot of drivers, even some seasoned car enthusiasts, fall into the trap of thinking a plug is just a plug. They assume that as long as the threads match and it fits into the cylinder head, the material composition does not matter all that much. This is a fatal misunderstanding of modern engine metallurgy. Genuine high-performance spark plugs, like the NGK Laser Iridium or the Denso Iridium Power, use precious metals specifically because of the brutal environment inside a modern combustion chamber. Iridium has a melting point of 2,446 degrees Celsius, or about 4,434.8 degrees Fahrenheit. It also sits at a 6.5 on the Mohs hardness scale, making it approximately 6 times harder than platinum. Counterfeiters, who are solely interested in maximizing profit, completely bypass these expensive materials. Instead, they use basic nickel alloys for the center electrode. Nickel has a much lower melting point of just 1,455 degrees Celsius, or 2,751 degrees Fahrenheit. To make the fake plug look authentic, the counterfeiters put the nickel electrode on a lathe and shave it down to mimic the 0.6 mm or 0.4 mm fine wire appearance of genuine iridium. This creates a massive vulnerability. In a high-performance engine, particularly one that is turbocharged or running high compression, combustion temperatures can rapidly exceed the melting point of nickel. Furthermore, genuine spark plugs contain a solid copper core embedded deep within the center electrode. Copper is an exceptional thermal conductor, and its job is to rapidly pull heat away from the firing tip, transferring it up through the ceramic insulator and out into the cylinder head cooling system. Forensic teardowns of counterfeit spark plugs, where the plugs are literally sliced in half, reveal that these fakes almost never have a copper core. They use solid steel or iron instead. Without a copper core to draw the heat away and with a shaved-down nickel tip that cannot withstand the ambient temperature, the electrode rapidly overheats and begins to melt. When this happens, it triggers a catastrophic thermodynamic cascade. Many people confuse the terms detonation and pre-ignition, but they are entirely different events, and pre-ignition is what you need to be terrified of. Detonation, which you might know as engine knock or pinging, happens after the spark plug fires. It is a secondary, uncontrolled explosion of the unburned fuel-air mixture, known as the end gas, at the edges of the combustion chamber. Detonation causes high-frequency pressure spikes that act like a hammer hitting the piston, which can shatter ceramic insulators and fracture piston ring lands over time. However, many engines can actually survive mild detonation for a little while. Pre-ignition, on the other hand, is an absolute death sentence for your engine. Pre-ignition occurs when the fuel-air mixture ignites before the spark plug is supposed to fire. When the cheap nickel tip of a counterfeit spark plug melts because it lacks a copper core, that molten metal stays red-hot inside the combustion chamber. It acts exactly like a glow plug. As the piston moves upward during the compression stroke, pushing the highly combustible fuel and air together, that glowing fake electrode ignites the mixture prematurely. Now the engine is fighting against itself. The piston is mechanically forced to move upward by the crankshaft, but it is suddenly slamming into a rapidly expanding, violently exploding wall of gas. The pressure and heat generated by this event are astronomical. Temperatures inside the cylinder can instantaneously skyrocket to 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. To put that into perspective, the aluminum that your pistons are made out of melts at just 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit. This brings us to the online marketplace trap. You might be thinking that you are safe because you only buy from sellers with a 5-star rating on Amazon or eBay. This is the biggest misconception in the automotive aftermarket today. Scammers are exploiting the brand equity of Tier 1 manufacturers like NGK, Denso, and Bosch, and they are incredibly good at making their listings look legitimate. They will use phrases like OEM quality or claim they are selling production overruns to justify why a set of 6 spark plugs that normally costs $100 is miraculously on sale for $30. The reality is that manufacturers do not sell production overruns through third-party discount channels. They strictly use authorized distributor networks. An investigation by the Australian Federal Chamber of Automotive Industries revealed that a staggering 60% of spark plugs purchased through major online marketplaces were verified as counterfeit. This is not some dark conspiracy. It is a highly profitable scam that costs the global economy tens of billions of dollars every year. And if you fall victim to it, do not expect your vehicle's manufacturer to bail you out. Auto manufacturers will absolutely not cover engine damage caused by counterfeit parts under warranty. You will be entirely responsible for the cost of a mechanically totaled engine simply because you trusted an online review. So, how do you protect yourself? How do you actually spot a fake spark plug before you install it? We need to look at 3 specific areas: packaging forensics, physical and visual flaws, and electrical testing. Let's start with the packaging. Counterfeiters have become highly skilled, but they often make mistakes in the printing process. On genuine NGK boxes, the printing is crisp and high resolution, while fakes often look blurry, smudged, or dull. One of the quickest giveaways is the EAC certification logo on the box. Authentic boxes feature this logo clearly and proportionally, but many fakes either completely miss it, have odd spacing, or forget to include the proper coloring. On the warning triangle printed on the side of NGK boxes, genuine boxes have sharp corners and use a distinct orange color. Fake boxes often have rounded corners on the triangle and are missing the orange color entirely. Furthermore, genuine boxes will always list the manufacturer's website URL. If the URL is absent or misspelled, you are holding a confirmed fake. You can also try holding a flashlight behind the cardboard box. On real NGK boxes, the cardboard allows the printing to be visible from the inside out when backlit. Fake boxes often use a cheaper, thicker recycled cardboard that completely blocks the light. Next, we move to the physical spark plug body. On genuine NGK plugs, there is a lot number stamped into the metal hexagon flat. If you look closely, genuine NGK lot numbers frequently start with the letter W. On counterfeit plugs, the lot number is often missing entirely, or it begins with the letter K. If you move down to the ceramic insulator, look at the printed branding. On genuine NGK plugs, the text has a smudge-resistant surface application that feels slightly textured, and it is a lighter, faded blue color. On fakes, the blue text is noticeably darker, easily rubbed off, and often poorly centered. If you look closely at the white ceramic itself, genuine insulators are a bright, clean white. Fake insulators often look dirty, speckled, or have a slightly off-white hue. Where the ceramic insulator meets the metal shell, real NGK plugs often have a visible white talcum powder residue left over from the manufacturing process. Fake plugs almost never have this powder. The metal shell itself offers massive clues. Genuine NGK and Denso plugs are manufactured using advanced forging processes that result in a smooth, uniform metal surface. Counterfeit plugs are produced in lower volumes with inferior machinery, typically being turned on a lathe. Because of this, fakes often show visible machine cutting marks. You should closely inspect the caulking or crimping portion where the metal folds over the ceramic. Genuine units are perfectly smooth, while fakes often show rough, circular tool cutting marks. You should also check the C-groove, which is the recessed portion of the metal shell just below the hexagon. Again, if you see visible horizontal cutting lines here, it is a definitive indicator of a counterfeit. Another physical check is the gasket test. On a genuine spark plug, the metal crush washer gasket is securely attached to the body and is very difficult to remove by hand. On many counterfeit plugs, the gasket is loose and can be easily unscrewed and spun right off the threads. You should also look at the shape and angle of the ground electrode, the metal arm that curves over the center tip. On a real plug, this arm is precisely cut and bent to the perfect angle for optimal flame propagation. If the ground electrode looks like a blunt, roughly cut rectangular block, or if it bends at a strange, irregular angle, it is a fake. For Denso plugs, you can use a caliper or a feeler gauge to measure the electrode gap distance. Counterfeit Denso plugs frequently fail to meet strict ISO dimensions, and the gap is often off by 0.1 to 0.2 millimeters right out of the box. If you are dealing with Denso plugs specifically, there is an incredible physical test you can perform called the scratch test. Genuine Denso spark plugs are manufactured using solid, high-grade steel that requires no superficial coating. Counterfeiters, trying to make cheap metals look premium, will often coat their fake plugs in a shiny paint or a thin, superficial layer of metallic finish. Take a pocket knife or a sharp tool and apply gentle pressure to scratch the hexagon portion of the plug. If the top layer of shiny material flakes or scratches off to reveal a dull, different-colored metal underneath, you have absolutely spotted a fake. Authentic Denso units will only show a minor physical indentation from the knife, because the high-quality steel is consistent all the way through the shell. If the visual checks leave you uncertain, you can use definitive electrical bench testing to expose a scam. Modern vehicles require what are called resistor-type spark plugs. These plugs contain a specific internal ceramic resistor designed to suppress electromagnetic interference. Without this resistor, the electrical noise from the ignition system will severely disrupt your car's engine control unit, your radio, and other sensitive onboard electronics. Genuine NGK and Denso plugs have this resistor built in, but counterfeiters often skip it to save money. You can test this using a standard digital multimeter. Set your multimeter to the 20K ohm resistance range. Take one probe and touch it firmly to the top terminal nut of the spark plug. Take the second probe and touch it directly to the center electrode tip at the bottom of the plug. Be careful to only touch the tip, as touching the side of the electrode or the metal shell will give you an inaccurate reading. A genuine NGK resistor plug will typically give you a reading between 3,500 and 7,500 ohms, or 3.5K to 7.5K ohms. A genuine Denso plug should read right around 5,000 ohms. If you perform this test on a counterfeit spark plug, you will frequently see a reading of zero resistance, meaning there is no resistor inside at all, or you will see infinite resistance, meaning the internal connection is completely broken. Installing a plug with zero or infinite resistance will cause immediate electrical chaos in a modern engine, leading to misfires, erratic sensor readings, and potentially permanent damage to your ignition coils or ECU. For those of you who run Bosch spark plugs, the company has implemented the most technologically advanced anti-counterfeiting measures in the industry to protect you. Genuine Bosch spark plug packaging is equipped with a highly secure holographic label known as KeySecure. This label contains a unique 18-digit secure code. Under direct light, the secure code and the Bosch logo on the hologram should display a vibrant rainbow spectrum glimmer. In indirect light, the label should appear simply black and silver. Most importantly, the last 6 characters of the printed 18-digit code must be repeated individually within the holographic image itself. You can take this 18-digit code and enter it directly into the official Bosch Protect website. The system will immediately verify if the code is authentic and if it has been searched before, guaranteeing that you have a genuine part. Now, let's address the panic you might be feeling right now. If you recently did a tune-up using spark plugs you bought online for a suspicious price, you are probably wondering, is my engine dying right now? You need to know the symptoms of a fake plug that is actively failing inside your engine block. The most obvious sign is a noticeable lack of acceleration or a sudden sluggish loss of power when you press the gas pedal. This happens because the malfunctioning fake plug is not generating a spark strong enough to fully ignite the air-fuel mixture, leading to incomplete combustion. You will also likely experience a severe drop in fuel economy, as raw, unburned fuel is simply pumped out through your exhaust valves. This unburned fuel can quickly overheat and destroy your catalytic converter, adding thousands of dollars to your repair bill. At a stoplight, you might feel a rough, unstable, or shaking idle, and you might hear audible knocking sounds coming from the engine bay. If any of these symptoms occur, look at your dashboard. If the check engine light or malfunction indicator light illuminates, you need to plug an OBD-II scanner into your diagnostic port immediately. You are specifically looking for misfire codes. Code P0300 indicates a random or multiple cylinder misfire. Codes P0301 through P0308 will tell you exactly which specific cylinder is misfiring. If you see these codes, pull the spark plug from that cylinder immediately. You should also be highly alarmed if you scan codes P0326 or P0327. These are knock sensor codes, which mean your engine's acoustic sensors are detecting the violent vibrations of detonation or pre-ignition. When the ECU detects this knocking, it will desperately try to save the engine by retarding the ignition timing. This aggressive timing retard causes a massive loss of torque and power. If your engine feels incredibly sluggish and throws a knock sensor code, a counterfeit spark plug may have already started melting inside your cylinder. When inspecting a used spark plug that you suspect is fake, be careful not to confuse a normal corona stain with actual physical failure. A corona stain is a light brown or tan discoloration on the white ceramic insulator, right above the metal shell. This is completely normal and harmless. It is just oil and dirt particles being attracted to the ceramic by the high-voltage magnetic field. However, if you see dark, oily black soot escaping from where the ceramic meets the metal shell, that is called blow-by. Blow-by means the internal seal of the spark plug has failed. This is incredibly common in counterfeit plugs because their manufacturing crimps are weak and inaccurate. Blow-by allows hot combustion gases to escape the cylinder, leading to severe overheating of the plug and a massive loss of engine compression. If you see soot leaking through the metal shell, throw the plug away immediately. Ultimately, the only guaranteed way to protect your vehicle from the catastrophic damage of pre-ignition, melted pistons, and destroyed catalytic converters is to completely change where you buy your parts. The digital marketplace is a minefield, and the scammers are relying on your desire to find a bargain. Stop buying critical engine components from unverified third-party sellers on massive online marketplaces. If a high-performance spark plug retails for $15 to $20 at a local auto parts store, a listing selling a pack of 4 for $20 is not a clearance sale, it is a scam. You must strictly source your components from authorized distributors who have direct supply chain relationships with the manufacturers. If you are in the United States, that means driving to or ordering directly from the official websites of Advance Auto Parts, AutoZone, Napa, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Summit Racing, or Rock Auto. If you are in the United Kingdom, utilize trusted motor factors like Euro Car Parts or Halfords. If you are watching from Australia, rely on authorized networks like Sparesbox, Automotive Superstore, or Bapcor. The spark plug is the literal spark of life for your engine. It operates in one of the most violent, high-pressure, extreme heat environments on the planet. It is the final barrier between optimal, thrilling performance and absolute mechanical ruin. Refuse to compromise. Demand genuine parts, perform your visual and electrical inspections, and keep your high-performance engine running strong for years to come.